The Institute for the Study of War reports Russia has made no gains in territory for the first time since its invasion in Ukraine started. It comes after Vladimir Putin announced Russian forces would pause some of their operations after surrounding a key town in eastern Ukraine. We're also hearing harrowing stories of survival from Ukrainian civilians caught in the crossfire. Foreign correspondent Tom Soufi Burridge has more.
How a mother and daughter got out alive after a Russian missile obliterated their home.
The first thoughts that occurred to me, it's time to die.
Shrapnel-scarred Yekaterina telling me their apartment shook when a first rocket landed nearby. The second, a direct hit. Mum and daughter then trapped under a ton of rubble.
Her first sentence was like, "Mommy, are you alive? Are you here?"
Soon, a daring rescue mission underway. The team spending hours working their way through the debris to cut them out.
When you knew that someone was there, a team of people trying to get you out, what was that like?
I told her scream, and she was screaming.
Soon, Zhenya is free. 7 years old, clearly in shock. It's hard to watch, but this is the reality of Putin's war. The most innocent suffering in an unimaginable way. They later free Yekaterina. Her spine fractured. It's a miracle she's alive. But her husband, Lyosha, also inside the apartment, killed.
People were in love with him, and he was also in love with love.
This morning, a happier moment. Two of the firefighters who rescued mum and daughter visiting them in hospital for the first time. Handing back one of their few possessions that survived the blast, Zhenya's sparkly ballerina dress.
And Tom Soufi Burridge joins me live from Kyiv, Ukraine with more on this. Tom, what's next for this mother and daughter and so many survivors there?
Yeah, Diane, Ekaterina asked her that question. She said she's not thinking about the future right now. She's concentrating on the day-to-day. She said that her young daughter, Zhenya, 7 years old, has not cried since that missile strike, since her father was killed. So Ekaterina's quite sure that her daughter needs a lot of psychological support. They have, I think, become a symbol of resilience here in Ukraine. They're incredibly brave. Physically, they're doing okay. They've managed to get out of hospital. But they do represent what this war in so many different ways. The fact that young and old, women, children are all getting caught up in Russian missile strikes across the country. We've just had reports that there are explosions in the second biggest city of Kharkiv. This is a daily occurrence. And luckily, both Ekaterina and Zhenya did get out alive.
Yeah, it is lucky for them. So many, unfortunately, aren't, Tom. So what is the latest on the fighting, and what's happening with this pause in the Russian offensive?
So this is basically since the Russians took the northern half of the Donbass, a region called Luhansk. They now don't control all of the southern half, a region called Donetsk. There are two key cities in that region which are still in Ukrainian hands. Putin has said that his forces are taking a pause. Crucially, Western officials telling me that what now the Ukrainians have is a straighter front line. Before, they were in a pocket of territory, almost surrounded on all sides. And Western officials now hope that the Ukrainians will have more chance of holding that front line, of more resistance, and even suggesting that the Russians might not take the entire Donbass before the end of this year. That said, the Ukrainians are really up against it in the fight. We've spoken to soldiers recently back from the front line who paint a bleak picture. They say the Russians have control of the skies there. It's a constant artillery fight, pinning the Ukrainian forces down. And although there's been a lot of weaponry coming in from the West, particularly those rocket systems seeming to be used effectively by the Ukrainians to hit targets behind enemy lines, at the moment there's no sign that all of that weaponry, all of that training from the US and its allies is enough yet to stop the Russian offensive in eastern Ukraine.
All right, Tom Soufi Burridge in Kyiv, Ukraine for us. Thanks, Tom. Stay safe.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.